Shalom and good morning. Angel here from Healthy in Heart, and I am out here in the garden. I've been harvesting some radishes and a couple of the peppers that are on the smaller plants, so that so the plant can focus its energy on growing a little taller to support the plant, to support the fruit that it's going to produce. So hands are dirty. But I also wanted to harvest this one onion that had already it had already bloomed like this and given its bulb sets like this one. So this one was over in the other bed. I just transplanted it today. You hear people say, when the onion starts blooming, take the bulb off, so that take off the blooms so that it can focus its energy on the roots, right? Okay, this onion right here is it was last year's onion. I planted it in this bed last year, towards the end of fall, and because at the beginning of spring we didn't have this bed here, so I planted it toward the end of fall. Okay, when I planted it, where did it go? When I planted it, it was this size. Okay, in comparison, this is one of the bulbs that I took off of it. This is its baby. And this is the mama plant to that bulb I just showed you. Now this onion was that size last fall when I put it in here, and I went to harvest it because it's not going to produce any more bulb-ettes. I had to pull on this thing to get it to come up, because look at this. Look at the size of that bulb, okay? That is huge. That's about the size of an onion that you would get in the store, okay? I like to push the boundaries. So if somebody says you can't do something, I'm going to just test it to see if you can in the garden, okay? Not in life, and not in Yahuah's laws and commandments. So if somebody says you can't do something in the garden, well, I'm going to test it out, because maybe they can't, maybe I can. Who knows? I'm really not conceited like that, but I like to test, because there are a lot of things that at one time were said could not be done. For example, growing this much food in a 4 foot by 4 foot space. At one time, that was unheard of. Like, my grandfather would have scoffed at me to even think that he could do this much food in this much space. But here we are doing it, okay? So what is believed to be once the rules or the laws of gardening aren't necessarily so. So take it as a suggestion. The rules and regulations that are related to gardening, take it as a suggestion, but don't necessarily take it as fact, because different areas of the region can be different varieties of plants. These are what are they called? The Egyptian walking onions, okay? So they may be slightly different than other onions. I don't know. I haven't tried it with other onions, but I'm going to. Another thing they say is that if you let them go to seed, they will not store as long. Now, I don't know how these things get started. I don't know if it's assumed, because one person tells one person, and then it becomes theory. I don't know. And I don't know if these will store, because I've never tried to store them. I always grow them as I need them, because these babies will overwinter in the ground. So I don't pull them out unless I want to harvest them. Now, the other onions, these also do not, as you can see, they're going to seed, but they do not, the neck doesn't, and look at the size of the neck, okay? Look at the size of the neck on that thing. I mean, that is like half the size of my face. Also, the only part of this onion that's not edible is this part right here, the part that grew the flower, because it is very hard. But the rest of it you can use as green onion tops. So this is a different variety than the other onions are. So I don't know if there's a difference between the varieties. That is a theory I'm going to test out. So I do have some other onions in there that I'm going to plant out soon. So I'm going to test it out. I'm going to see if they're also as cold hardy, because we do live in Roanoke, Virginia, and while we live in the city and it's not as cold here, it still does get below freezing quite long periods of time. So we don't get the snow dumped on us and the storms and stuff, but we still get the cold, and though we are about 10 to 20 degrees warmer than in the areas around us. I'm gonna test this out with the other onions that I'm gonna plant and see what happens, because and I will do a video update on I will do a video update on what I find out. Sorry, I'm stuttering this morning. I just wanted to share that with you, that, you know, that is a big bulb. And look at the neck on that thing, right? So these necks don't get soft and fall over like the other onions do. So that is a difference between these onions. At least I've not seen that. So I don't know if that's a difference in the breed of onions or what, but yeah, these don't fall over like that. Now, there was one next to it that I planted last year also, and it has a pretty significant neck on it as well. Although, if you can tell by the leaves, they're about the same size. Okay, so you can assume the bulb is the same size as that one. And that's the side that was facing the other bulb, and they were just getting happy. Now when I pulled this one up this morning to harvest it, I did not realize. Now I know these Egyptian walking onions will procreate like this. I did not know that they will split off bulbs from the side. So I have one on the other side that was right beside of this one, attached to it, and was getting ready to grow a stalk. So they will procreate under the earth as well. They will create little bulb-ettes under the earth as well as on top of the earth. Now this one right here has a seed on it. And I mean, look at the base of that onion. This is one onion right here. This is one onion right here. Right here. All of that. That is the neck of it. So you can imagine that the bulb is probably just as big as the one I just pulled this morning. Okay, there's one more thing about the Egyptian onions that I wanted to let you know. I do have some Egyptian walking onions that are setting bulbs out there that are, their necks aren't as wide and they're not as big as these. I mean, you have those variations within a breed, but to say that for sure that if you cut off the flower and keep the onion from blooming, that it will not grow as large an onion bulb, that's not true. At least with the Egyptian walking onion, and I will test this out with the others. You can guarantee it, because I am a little garden rebel. Yes, I am. So I will test that theory out and I will let you know. Really, these onions, they're proliferate. So if you let them for a few years, just keep setting the bulbs and planting those out, you're going to have quite a lot of onions, and you're going to be able to have enough onions in the ground that you don't have to pull them up and harvest them. You can harvest them as you need them, and that is, sorry, my arm's getting a little tired, and that is a really good benefit to growing and gardening in a sustainable way. So that's all I wanted to share with you this morning. Thank you for taking a look at my onions, and Yahuah bless you and keep you and give you shalom. Until next time, Yah bless.